Hey everyone, it's Jason. Today we're going to check out Quicksilver, Pietro Maximoff, for Marvel Heroes Hero Pack. This is the beginning of the, I guess, second set of team-up characters, with Ant-Man and Wasp being the first ones, and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver being the second two, and presumably Groot and Rocket being the third set. It kind of started with Hawkeye and Spider-Woman, but they don't really pair up like the rest of these do as much. There's a cool poster of him running across the water. Information about him. We have two new keywords. We have team up. We have a couple new keywords. We have team up, which I'll explain when I get to that card. We have Incite X. It says when a card with Incite X keyword is revealed, place X threat on the main scheme. And we have Piercing. An attack with Piercing keyword discards any tough status cards from the target before dealing damage. And Quicksilver gets the protection. Alright, let's hop into the deck, rather than reading all that. So, if you watch the Ant-Man and Wasp videos, you'll kind of have an idea of what the team-up type characters are about. If not, essentially what it is, plastic's a pain to get off. Essentially what the team-up is they have, their unique ally in their deck is the other character. So, Ant-Man had Wasp, Wasp had Ant-Man. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch will have each other. And then they have cards that require that other character to be out on the field. So if you're playing with another player that's using them, you can get it every time because you have that other characters on the field already. If not, you can always access it yourself by playing other cards, which is definitely an interesting mechanic. And it gives you a little bit more powerful effect. For cheaper, because you're required to have another character on there. So we're going to start off looking at Quicksilver. In his hero, he has 5 hand size and 9 hit points, so he's not super beefy. He has really low stats. He has 1 thwart, 1 attack, 1 defense. This is really low for a character. But his reason for that is his super speed response. After you use one of Quicksilver's basic powers, ready him, limit once per phase. So basically you can thwart once, and then you can ready him, and then now you can thwart again. Or you could attack once, and then you could ready him and be ready to defend. Or you could defend on a turn, ready him, and be ready to defend again. So it's definitely cool that he has the option of doing that. It's supposed to represent his super speed. And then here's Pietro Maximoff's alter ego, 3 recovery. Superpowered sibling, action, discard 2 cards from your hand, draw 2 and then draw 2 cards. Draw 3 cards instead if Wanda Maximoff is in play, limit once per round. So he gains an extra hand size up to 6. But yeah, discarding 2 cards to draw 2 more. So if you have 2 that you really can't use, get an option if Wanda's in play. You get a 3rd one. And now it's Wanda Maximoff, not Scarlet Witch. And that's an important distinction. Because actually it shouldn't make a difference. I just think, I don't know why they put it that way. It might be maybe if the other player is playing Scarlet Witch, they have to have it in the, have to be in Wanda's form. I'm just seeing if it says anything in the instructions. It doesn't. Yeah, because they're playing if they're playing just the regular ally card, which I'll just show right now. So this is always technically Scarlet Witch and Wanda Maximoff, so he should be able to gain the ability. But if you're playing with another player playing Scarlet Witch, I'm not sure if it always works. Anywho, that's definitely interesting. So he gets extra cards. I like that he's just a civilian, though. Like most other have something else, like they're a spy or an outlaw or something. Nope, he's just a civilian. Alright, so then we have Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff. 1 attack, 1 thwart, 3 attack, 3 cost, or 3 health, I mean. Interrupt. When you use one of Scarlet Witch's basic powers, discard the top card of the encounter deck. For each boost icon discarded this way, Scarlet Witch gets +1 to the power for this use. So this kind of represents how her actual character deck works too. She has chaos magic. So she has lots of stuff where you're basically randomly doing chance, because you're going to discard the top card of the encounter deck. You could get, maybe 3 boost, which would make her really powerful. You could get 0, which means you wasted it. Either way, though, you're also speeding up the emptying of that deck. So you don't want to. So the more and more you use it, the more you're bringing in the chaos that's everything else. So here's Quicksilver's deck. He has some other really cool cards in here. So always be running 1 cost Superpower, ready Quicksilver. So this works with his regular ability. You could attack, ready him with his hero ability, attack again, then play this to attack a 3rd time. So that's definitely cool. And he's got 4 of those, which most characters don't have more than 3 cards, but that's so you make sure you get that all the time. Here we have double time. Choose 2 of the following. You may choose the same option twice. Deal 2 damage to an enemy, or remove 2 threats from a scheme. So that's cool. Deal 4 damage, or remove 4 threat, or do 2 of each. For 2 costs, it's definitely pretty powerful. I love the options of what you need to do. Here we have maximum velocity, superpower, max 1 per phase. Hero action, you get 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense until the end of round. Have you ever been punched at supersonic speed? So now you play this with his ability, and also now he's doing 3 attack, 3 thwart, or has 3 defense, and you can do it twice. And then if you use his always be running, you can use it a 3rd time. So now you can see how his cards pile up, and he can get really crazy. He also has an X cost speed cyclone, stun X enemies. So that's crazy. Pay as much or as little as you can afford, or how many you need to. There's 3 enemies, pay 3. There's 4 enemies, but you're really only worried about 2 of them, pay 2. Quicksilver is kind of all about, like, options, is what it seems like. We have a couple awesome things on this card. So one, it's Serval Industries. It's a location, which we don't have a ton of those, so I like to see more of those. I just find that neat. And then we have X Factor. And that's really cool because he was part of various groups of X Factor as well as being an Avenger. So I like the fact that they're bringing that in there and acknowledging that. Also, it adds the fact that means they're bringing X-Men characters into the game. So like right now, so far, we've only had Avenger characters. With the even slight thing that we've had, spies were very heavy. We've had a couple of spy characters with Black Widow, and Spider-Woman, and Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye may have had spy on there too. So you've had spy subtypes. You have lots of Avengers. And then, like, Thor being Asgard, another area they could head into. But it's nice to see, okay, they're going to have X Factor. So at least they're acknowledging the X-Men side of the universe. Although they're doing Guardians of the Galaxy next, so they're going to have a bunch of Guardian cards. But that means maybe, like, the 4th series or set that comes out after the Guardian block could potentially be X-Men characters. Because there's been X-Men that have been part of the Guardians or worked with the Guardians in the Galaxy before, so you could definitely link them that way too. Alright, so we have Alter Ego Actions. Exhaust Serval Industries, shuffle 2 Quicksilver cards from your discard pile into your deck to get them cards back. The corporate sponsors of superhero team known as X Factor. Alright, he has a bunch of really neat upgrades here. Accelerated reflexes. Condition. He gets +1 defense. And then he has frictionless resistance. Response: after you ready Quicksilver, ready this card, and he can ready free once per turn. With his ability, resource: exhaust frictionless resource, generate a fist resource. So basically, access to Quicksilver, he can attack, thwart, do whatever he needs to do. Then you can ready him, and then when you ready him, or you can exhaust this card to gain an extra fist. You use one of his other cards, do whatever, gain extra might. Then you can ready him so he can use that upgrade, which then unexhausts this, and then you can exhaust it a second time. So you can gain 2 attack thwarts or whatever with him, plus you can gain 2 resources with this card. So it's definitely a cool thing. Hyper Perception, 2 cost. Quicksilver gets 1 thwart. Surely you can do better than that. And then, Reinforced Snew. Quicksilver gets 1 attack. The feature is written by winners. This is actually an interesting picture, too, because this is his green costume. Which he doesn't... All the rest, I believe, are his classic blue costume. It's not even, like there's, a little bit different variation on it. Which I like this classic blue one. It's just interesting that all of a sudden then he has this green one in this one picture. Which is a newer version of his green one from when I think he was with X Factor. And not his green one when he was with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. But yeah, he has 3 different power-up cards that give him 1 attack, 1 thwart, and 1 defense. Which work really well with his ability to upgrade. Where did I lose him? He's in here somewhere. I lost Quicksilver in his own deck. Yeah, so you can pump up whichever stat you need to pump up, and then you can do it twice. So that's definitely cool. Alright, let's look at his aspects cards. He has Protection, which is the green ones. So he gets X Factor. He gets Multiple Man, Jamie Madrox. Which, if you're not familiar with what his mutant, he's a mutant. His ability is he can make duplicates of himself by kinetic force. So if like he stamps his hand, like slams his hand down, stomps his foot, gets punched, he can create duplicates of himself. And then in the past, there's been times where sometimes his duplicates will like have their own personalities. Which I'm sure is not going to play into this, but, you know, there's other aspects of his character than just that. So yeah, usually he's a comic relief character, but, like, later on, in X-Men, in more recent history, he's been, like, the leader of X-Factor. He's still kind of, like, the goofball character, but he took the leadership role. So, 1 thwart, 1 attack. After Multiple Man enters search your deck in hand for a copy of Multiple Man and put it into play. Shuffle your deck if it was searched this way. Who wants a sandwich? So he costs 4, which is a lot for a 2 health, 1 thwart, 1 attack. But after he enters play, you just search your deck for another copy. And we get 3 copies of him, which we don't often get multiple copies of an ally. So that's definitely cool. So you can play 1, get 1, search for 1, get the other, and you get all 3 out for 4 costs. Our other X Factor character is we have Warlock, who's an alien techniarch. I'm gonna say that wrong. Being so basically also part of the Phalanx. They're like I don't want to say robotic. They're like cybernetic, but they can like absorb other technologies and humans. The bad ones absorb humans into them. This one actually became friends with the New Mutants, especially the New Mutant Cypher. He can change shape and do other things. And he talks in a weird form. So. 3 for 1/1. So spend a genius resource to heal up to 2 damage from Warlock. So basically you can attack or thwart twice, and then you can heal them right back to full. So that's really cool. Self thinks this is a mistake, but then Self is very young and knows very little. So that's cool. Alright, we have Never Back Down. Defense with Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. Hero Interrupt. When you defend against an attack, you take +2 defense for this attack. If you take no damage from this attack, stun the attacking enemy. Champions Charge. Ooh, more Champions references. So this would actually be really cool with Quicksilver, because you could play this, you have at least 3 defense, and then if you don't take the damage, that guy's stunned, you can ready Quicksilver and he's ready to attack again. Or you could have attacked, had that sitting in your back pocket in case you had to defend, and then you can gain extra. Here we have Nadia Van Dyne Wasp. Sidestep. Defense. Hero Interrupt. When you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage. If you paid for this card using an energy resource, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Interesting. Just one card that prevents damage. One that's like, if you do take the damage, do damage back to them and prevent most of it. So that's kind of cool. And again, kind of even there with Quicksilver, it shows this quick thinking. His Armored Vest. Play it under any player's control. Maximum per player. Your hero gets +1 defense. Definitely extra defense for Quicksilver is cool. Because again, you can attack and then you can ready and be ready to defend on your next turn. Which is kind of what these cards are focused on, with protection. Armored Vest seems kind of weird because I don't imagine Quicksilver wearing an Armored Vest, but Nerves of Steel with Captain America. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Resource, exhaust Nerves of Steel, generating energy resource for a defense event, which are what the 2 of them other cards are. So yeah, these cards are all about defense. It's kind of how they want you to play Quicksilver, is more on that attack or thwart, and then be prepared to defend on the next turn. Let's see if his basic cards follow that in suit. So first off, we have the Team Up card. Order and Chaos. So there will be one of these in his deck, and there will be one of these in Scarlet Witch's deck. So to play a Team Up card, you have to have that one of those 2 players in your deck to be able to use it. So Quicksilver can put it in Quicksilver's deck, Scarlet Witch can put it in Scarlet Witch's deck. No other player can play this card. Regardless, because it's whatever main character. And then to actually play the card, both of these characters have to be on the table. So if player A is playing Quicksilver, player B is playing Scarlet Witch, you can play it. Otherwise, if player A is playing Quicksilver, he can have his ally of Scarlet Witch out, or another player could have an ally of Scarlet Witch out if they have her in her deck somehow. Because currently right now, Scarlet Witch would only be either a hero or his signature ally. Like the Ant-Man and Wasp, they had an Ant-Man and a Wasp in the Aspect deck, so you could actually mix and match them to other things, because there was multiple people with that name. But that's how that works. But it gets you a 1 cost. If you meet these conditions, you get a really good ability. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects and deal 2 damage to the villain. So that's the whole point of these Team Up cards. If you meet them conditions, you can do some really powerful stuff. We have our Energy, Genius, and Strength. Alright, what's our upgrade here? Adrenaline Rush. Discard Adrenaline Rush, your hero gets 1 attack until the end phase. Wow, lady, and I thought Gamora was intense. Rocket. Oh, there's Rocket on top of Captain Marvel. That's funny. Yeah, so this one, instead of playing defense, is letting you get some attack. Get 3 of those. And then we have Civic Duty Tactic. Discard Civic Duty, your hero gets 1 thwart till the end phase. Please stay calm, everything will be okay. So that's kind of neat. So one of their cards gets you attack, one gets defense, but they are one-time use cards. Alright, let's look at his obligation. The Need for Speed. Oh boy, that's to be agony for him standing in line. Give to the Pietro Maximoff player. You may flip to Ultra Uniform. Choose. exhaust Pietro Maximoff to remove need from speed from the game, or exhaust your identity. You cannot ready your identity until the end. You cannot ready your identity until your next turn. Discard this obligation. Okay, so basically, either exhaust Pietro and then remove this, or exhaust your alter ego and you just can't ready. Alright, that seems probably like one of the easier choices. You're going to lose a turn either way, but I guess it's the difference between if you want to be in hero form or alter ego form. Alright, so that's that. Alright, who are we fighting against? Our Quicksilver nemesis, Extortion of Seismic Proportions. Incite 1. When revealed, place one threat on the main scheme. And there's a crisis. You have to defeat this one first. And we are up against Avalanche, the Brotherhood of Mutants. Again, more mutants and more like X-Men references, which is great. And I'm my thought would be like, why is Avalanche? I don't remember them really having like a beef or against each other, but it kind of makes sense because Quicksilver left the Brotherhood. You can see Avalanche maybe being, oh, you betrayed what Magneto thought, kind of ideal. Also because you have a character that's all based on running, so he needs to be moving fast on the ground, and you have a bad guy here that's all about destroying the ground. So it's kind of like a good counter to him. So Incite 2, when revealed, each player must either take 2 indirect damage or exhaust their identity. Vibration resistance, attachment. Attach to Avalanche if able. You cannot attach to the villain. Oh, that's different. Usually you're allowed to attach it to another villain. Reduce the damage attached enemy takes from each attack by 1. Hero action. Discard your hero to discard this card. So it's actually not so bad because it can only be attached to him. Then we have Earthquake, Incite 1. Here's lots of Incite cards. Revealed. Discard 2 cards from your hand or exhaust your identity. Boost. Choose to either spend 2 might resources or exhaust your identity. And there's his pre-built. And there's his cards. So it has to do with this. So I'm just curious. We have Wild, Genius, Energy, Fist, Genius, Fist, Energy, 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 Genius, Genius, Fist, Fist. So overall, like, he doesn't have all these guys, all his defense, a bunch of his defense cards are all fists. Energy, but yeah, he doesn't overall have an abundance of them. Alright, then let's finally look at the last aspect cards. Building our other decks, we have upgrade card, Brute Force with a Hulk. Your hero gets +1 attack. Your basic attack gains piercing. Discard a tough status card before dealing damage. Forced response. After you make a basic attack, discard Brute Force. Okay, so it attaches to him, but then whenever you finally decide to attack, you only get to use it once. That's still not bad, though. Sense of Justice with Lockjaw and Kamala Khan. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Resource. Exhaust Sense of Justice. Generate a tech resource for 1 thwart event. Ooh, boy, this should work really well with the Wasp. She has an aggression deck, so when, like, her core deck, she comes with the aggression, but this would work really well with her. Because she has lots of genius cards. Leadership. United we stand. A 0 cost. Play only if your identity has the Avenger's trait. Hero action. Heal 1 damage from up to X friendly characters up to a maximum of 3, where X is the number of the villain's stage. Interesting. So you can heal up your characters, but basically the harder they get, the more you can heal. cool. I wonder how that would work with like the Wrecking Crew though, where they don't have technically any levels, so it'd only be one, or if you could count to like one per each character. Be interesting to maybe question how that one works. And then our basic is beat 'em up with She-Hulk. Tactic: hero action, deal 1 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with you. Too easy. That's a pretty basic card. But yeah, that's nice. Just deal 1 damage. Alright, well that was our Quicksilver deck. I lost Quicksilver in the pile of cards here somewhere. There he is. Yeah, I can't wait to check out Scarlet Witch when she comes out. We'll just see, because she has some crazy chaos abilities. And then again, the upcoming Guardians, and then we'll have to see what's beyond that. Alright, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.